Nintendo's Star Fox Remake isn't just a nostalgia trip, it's a reminder that some of gaming's oldest design philosophies are still some of their best. Playing Star Fox feels like being a kid again. I know that's a cliche by now, but it's like those days you were standing in front of an arcade cabinet, putting in a few extra coins you'd saved up just to get a better run, just to see a little bit more of the game. One more run, one more attempt to beat your previous best score, one more attempt to, get your little 3 initials up on the scoreboard. Find a new route, finally clear that impossible section without taking a hit. And it's that feeling that Star Fox really encompasses, and it's that feeling that has aged very, very well. But in a lot of ways, the remake doesn't just remind you of why old school games are great, it also reminds you why games have changed in the first place, and how in a lot of ways that change has been for the better in the long run. For every moment here that makes you smile and think they just don't make games like this anymore, there's another that quietly reminds you they don't make games like this anymore. And I think that's what makes a remake of a stone cold classic like Star Fox such a fascinating remake. This is definitely a game for a certain type of player, probably of a certain age, who grew up in a certain gaming moment of time. For me, I still remember the first ever time I saw polygons on a screen on the Super Nintendo in Star Fox. It's one of those things that will sit with me forever, like the first time I saw Super Mario 64 running in an old game shop back in the day on a console that was in the shop. I just stood there with my cousin and we just watched this guy playing Super Mario. We were just blown away. And Star Fox is one of those moments. But when it comes to design, I think the overall brilliance of Star Fox is how it makes you want to come back for more and how long that feeling lasts. Branching paths, hidden routes, medals, no-hit runs all create that perfect, just one more go. Let me just go back one more time feeling. And in a time before the internet, every playthrough in Star Fox taught you something. You aren't grinding for loot or chasing for arbitrary progression. You're just simply getting better. Inch by inch, you're seeing more of the Lilat system. Modern games often treat linear or on rails like dirty words, They just want bigger maps, more icons, more towers on the horizon. Star Fox couldn't care less about any of that. Instead of asking you to spend 50 hours traveling between objectives, it packs memorable moments into almost every stage. Giant space battles, massive bosses, secret exits, secret power-ups, dramatic escapes. The density of ideas are what makes it so exciting, and that's the thing with old school design, it was all about density. It's proof that quality pacing will always be empty scale. But then at the same time, you do begin to appreciate what modern gaming has brought to us. You can't help but wish that they just added a little bit more meat to the bones, and that's because the original game is so good. With a bit of freedom maybe, it could have been something that even added to the original work. That isn't really a criticism of the remake. It's a reminder that gaming has evolved because players wanted worlds to spend more time in, stories with a bit more depth, and mechanics that could grow over dozens of hours instead of dozens of minutes. Sometimes we romanticize so much about the past that we forget that the future has ever happened. But I have to say, Star Fox is charming. It is that classic Nintendo charm. The characters still have that unmistakable feeling of Nintendo-iness. The banter between Fox, Falco, Peppy and Slippy constantly make this world and this journey feel alive. And the remake's expanded voice work gives even more personality to both your teammates and your enemies. I loved the back and forth between Star Fox and Star Wolf, for example. And some of the new dialogue genuinely caught me by surprise. And by the end, due to the gorgeous delivery, the fantastic voice acting and the brilliant score, even those moments with Fox's father at the back end, they carry so much more emotional weight here. Modern visuals and performances reveal there was always more heart in Star Fox than people gave it credit for. Again, adding to the notes about the sound, I absolutely loved the soundtrack here. It's grand, it's epic, and I do believe it's added a fair bit to the original soundtrack, and it just sounds better for it. This is a giant Star Wars influenced space opera, and the music nails it. Well, one of my favourite discoveries about revisiting Star Fox is how it made me feel that sense of discovery, even though, almost everything has been discovered already. Going into it without refreshing my memory just made it feel special again. Finding those hidden routes, finding out how to unlock the hard mode and the true ending, bringing back flashbacks of my childhood when I'd go into school and tell my friends what I'd found in Star Fox the previous night. And I really hope all these lessons and all these things that bring joy to players when they revisit Star Fox, Nintendo keep that in mind when they design the inevitable new game. And I know there's a lot of criticism about the length of the game. Look, it's an old school game, it's a little bit short, but it's also £40. It is, however, perfect for handheld play, that kind of pick up and put down type of video game where each mission is about 3 to 6 minutes, and you can complete a run of a mission in a commute, or when you're waiting for some friends, as I was this weekend. I just pulled out the Switch and just completed a mission. It's awesome. And it's also timeless design. But also, you know, its biggest strength, like I said, is also its biggest weaknesses. You do wish they'd had some new missions. You do wish they'd expanded on things. It definitely leaves you wanting more, but maybe that's the whole point. Nintendo want you to shell out £60 for a sequel, and to be honest, I definitely would. But overall, you know, Star Fox the remake is fantastic. It doesn't necessarily prove that gaming used to be better. I think it proves something a little bit more interesting than that. It reminds us why we fell in love with games in the first place, simple mechanics, executed brilliantly, the thrill of mastery, and the excitement of discovery. But it also reminds us why games have evolved beyond those ideas. So the next time someone says gaming isn't what it used to be, I think Star Fox offers the perfect response. Some things really were better, some things are undeniably better now. The best future for gaming isn't choosing one over the other, it's remembering why both existed in the first place and how one led to the other. As the industry keeps chasing bigger worlds and more things to do, it feels surprisingly good to put one more virtual coin into the machine and take one more flight through the Lilac system. I absolutely loved Star Fox the remake, and I don't think it has to be a debate of old school and oh, it used to be like this and it's not like this anymore. They both exist due to one another, and I absolutely loved it. I will be playing it again. I probably finished it 6 times now, got all the endings. I haven't got all the medals yet though, and that is something I really do fancy doing. It's also gorgeous. I haven't even talked about how it looks. When I saw it on the Nintendo Direct, I was like, it looks good. And everyone, you know, was saying who'd seen it in person, how amazing it looked. Yeah, the videos don't do it justice. It looks stunning on the Switch 2 screen, and I also played it on a big 4K TV. It looked amazing on there too. Overall, just a joyous nostalgia trip. Absolutely loved it. Fantastic stuff. Oh yeah, like and subscribe, because I've been told by my agent that's what I have to do. I don't have an agent. Bye.